Tape 3W suivi d'école au Sénégal. D'accord. À école au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape école au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
Good morning, good day, bonjour tout le monde. Have you been in a situation where you go to a place and they ask for your personal identification? What do you understand by personal identification? What does it imply? What does it consist of, personal identification? What kind of information are you supposed to give out as far as a personal identification is concerned? It's simple. It's something, it's an information that is personal to you, that you are obliged or sometimes needed to be given. That is a personal information. And it's information that identifies you to the information. So looking at the information, you're able to say, that is me. So we're going to look at some of the information and probably add more to it. Personal identification. Okay? And so you have you on the board, personal identification. And I had to divide it into two. This section is oftentimes for like students, okay? And then we'll add as we go along, so you can see what needs sometimes to be added as far as personal identification is concerned and as far as where it is as, So for example, a general personal identification will consist of the first one, your name. What is your first name? First name is le prénom. Quel est votre prénom? For example, if you have like a name like Marie-Paul, C, for example, okay? So what would be the first name? The first name to the prénom, it is Mary or Marie. In this case, I'm going to put Mary, Mary Paul, okay? And so the first name is going to be Mary. Okay, and then the middle name, ça signifie votre deuxième prénom. Si vous avez 3 ou 4 deuxièmes prénoms, c'est là, that's where you put it in your middle name. So the middle name, c'est les deuxième et les troisième prénoms. In this case, it is Paul. So the middle name would be Paul. Okay. Sometimes we'll say they can ask you for a middle, instead of a name, they'll ask you for an initial. Middle initials, and then you put in brackets, okay? Put in brackets entre parenthèses because if you have one middle name, like in this case Paul, you would just simply put a P. But if you have multiple names like Paul, Paul Nafi, for example, okay, then you put PN. So these are just the initials. And oftentimes they use middle initials when the space, quand l'espace n'est pas assez pour pouvoir écrire tous les noms, that it's not sufficient enough to write all the names, and so you will put the initials PN, okay? But depending on what they ask, but if they ask, your middle name, and the space, and you have just one name, of course you can spell it out. But if they ask for just your middle initial, you just put the first letter, l'initiale, première lettre. Okay, and then you go to the last name or the family name. The last name or the family name in French c'est le nom de famille. In this case, it is C. So her last name is C. The first name is Mary, and the middle name is Paul. Okay, so if you see last name, it means that it is le nom de famille or the family name. So if somebody should ask you what's your name, so sometimes people have the tendency of giving the first name. My name is Mary. But as you grow up and you become an adult, on devient adulte, and they ask you, et le nom c'est, you're going to say, je suis Madame C. I am Mrs. C. But as when you're a kid and you're younger and somebody asks for your name, it's easier to just simply say, I'm Mary. And then you have C as last name. And then date of birth. Date of birth. This date of birth. Date of birth simply means the day that you were born. depending on where you come from, it could be months, the day, and then the year, or it could be the day or the number, the month, and then the year. Okay, in this case, if it were so your date of birth, it would be October 23rd, 1980. That's your date of birth. Okay? And then place of birth. Place means l'endroit. Where were you born? Was it in Dakar? Was it in Tambacounda? Was it in the Zingashore? Was it at Kaolack? Where were you born? In this case, you simply probably just say Dakar. Okay. The age, what's the age? 80 to this year. What's your age? It just depends on your calculations. Oh, I'm 24. Well, let's put 34. Your address, you have to be precise to put your address on it, okay? Put in the apartment number, the box postal or the zip code or, the total address. You have to put it in there, XX. For example, you can say 24B Lamine Avenue, just something. Lamine Avenue, apartment 2B, Dakar, Senegal. That's your address, okay? And then if you have an email, you put, Marici at yahoo.com. It could be Yahoo, it could be Hotmail, it could be Gmail, even if it just depends. And then your telephone number. Your telephone number always has to start with the country code. Every country has a code. America is 1, England is 44, Cameroon is 237, Nigeria is 234. Every country has its code, okay? And so, for example, just take the case of Senegal, and you're going to give a telephone number. You have to start with this sign, by the way, it's a sign for a number, okay? This sign. You see in your phones and stuff, apartment number, house number, it's just a number. That's why I put it in brackets, so you would know that this is the sign of numbers, okay? So, telephone number, the country code, Senegal, 221, and then you put your number. Always country code. Okay, house number, if you have a house number, 221 in brackets, you always have to put in brackets so that people know that it's a country code. And then you go on 33, 328, 0614, whatever it is. And then your nationality. Here I put nationality and country of origin. Why? Because sometimes we might have a country of origin which is definitely not your nationality. Because sometimes you can acquire nationality, but it's not your place of origin, it's not your country of origin. Like, for example, when people are born in Senegal and then they go to France or they go to America and then they adopt a different nationality. So they're nationals or France or America or Canada or India, but the country of origin is like where you were born, where you're from, okay? And so it depends, okay? And so country of origin will actually be, for example, Senegal. Maybe you were born in Senegal, it's your country of origin, and then you probably went to America, you went to Canada, you went to France, and you adopted the nationality and you became a citizen of that country. So your nationality would actually be French, or it could be American, etc. So it just depends. But yeah, it is a country of origin. So country of origin, c'est pays d'origine. Vous êtes né où, ou vous avez grandi où, ça c'est pays d'origine. ou des fois aussi l'origine de vos parents. And the nationality, c'est votre nationalité. Vous avez adopté une nationalité, vous avez, you ask for asylum somewhere, in another country, or you live there for a while, like in England, that you live for maybe 10 years, being an outstanding citizen or an inhabitant, that you get to apply for citizenship. So it just all depends on your destination, And of course, sometimes people do have double nationality. Like in Senegal, you have the possibility of having double nationality, if I'm not mistaken. But some countries do not allow it. Like in Cameroon, they will not allow you to have two nationalities. So it all depends. So your country of origin is different from your nationality. Okay? So these are oftentimes, normally, these are for personal identifications, especially for like young ones, teenagers or students. This is what they would ask.
Tape 3W suivi d'école au Sénégal.